Hi, folks. This is Applegeek. I'm back with Mentally Advanced, episode 22, based on Owl's Well That Ends Well. This should also be a fun episode, hopefully, as much as the last one was, because we have a very heavily Spike-focused episode, and Spike is awesome in the MAS world. So, I'm curious to see whether... Aloysius has got to be in this one. I don't know how Greg could actually write him out of it, but remains to be seen whether Aloysius actually becomes Twilight's pet or not. Somehow I don't see that happening with this Twilight, but no, just have to see. As far as what Spike's going to be like in regards to Aloysius, I don't know, but I love the accent, I love his character, so should be interesting. And it'd be nice to see more of Twilight again, too, because Twilight feels like she's been rather backgrounded the last little while here in these episodes. So, yeah, this is the second to last episode of the original MAS, so hopefully it does not disappoint. Let's go ahead and get this going. 22, starting now. Theme drop. Okay, that answers that question.
Owl, be quiet. Shush! Thank you. If you're responding to my thanks, then great, but just silence now, please. I would reach out and smack you off your perch, but it's late and I'm tired, so stop. Oh my god. So have you figured out what you're gonna do with
Did
this
she
thing
sleep
yet?
at all?
I'm not even really sure how to feed it. I don't know the first thing about owls. Do you think it's gonna fly out and feed itself, or what? You're asking if I think a domesticated owl that's trapped in your house is gonna find a way to feed itself.
How many books has Twilight read? How do you not know about owls?
I can't tell if you're joking or being willfully ignorant. I could be both. Very funny. Well, you ought to be taking this more seriously. This is the princess's bird. We're gonna get killed. It's not Celestia's bird. I'd be freaking out right now if it was. It's not. So it's Luna's bird? Oh crap, it's gonna explode, isn't it? No, Cadence and my brother or something. Oh, the third princess, yeah. She and your brother have been dating for a while now. Yeah, my mom's
more forward call-outs.
Him about engagement. They've been talking about it, but nothing yet. How is your mom, by the way? I miss her cooking. Back before I was doing it. She's doing okay. Yeah, she and Dad are getting along, and we're both getting old enough now. She's starting to write to me about her sex life. So, they're doing okay. Oh boy, just what you wanted to hear. It's whatever. I mean, she knows I've got a lot of medical background, so I kind of default as the family, I don't know, doctor, I guess. Uh-oh, what kind of bedroom business requires a doctor? Nothing. She just doesn't know what I know, so she'll ask questions and fish for answers. If I know something, I can help out, but it tends to be stuff like, is Dad, still young enough to do this, or could I die from a perforated colon? Well, I've been wondering though, can you tell me, what is Cadence a princess of? The color pink. Oh, come on. I think love. But I never really figured out for sure, because how do you rule over an intangible concept? Sounds like cheating. If someone doesn't like the way you've been ruling, you say, what? You don't like the way I've been ruling?
That's an excellent point.
Well, if you're not in love with the way I'm doing things, clearly it's not in my jurisdiction. Oh yeah, if you're not happy, you better find the princess of hate. Don't come whine to me. Hey Twilight, you ever stop to think it's weird how connected your family is? What do you mean? Well, the god princess of the sun is your personal teacher. The god princess of love is your personal babysitter. Your brother is the commander of the royal guard. And your family's only upper middle class. So my family's upper middle class. That's not weird. That's not the weird part. The weird part is that your family isn't politically influential, and yet somehow you're still the center of everything. No, that's an exaggeration. Now, hear me out, because this keeps me up at night, and I am shocked that you haven't thought of it yourself. What if there's a reason for it? What if they're focused on you for something? Oh, come on, you gotta use Occam's razor. I think Celestia is just aware of my magical potential, and she's keeping me in check. Oh, come on, Twilight, you're good, but you're not that good. Ask yourself, do you think you could ever lead a country? Well, alright, what do you think it means? Because otherwise we're just making assumptions. I don't know, but look at the circumstances. Celestia has your family close to her there in Canterlot. She sent you away to Ponyville where you can't reach them, which still implies I'm the potential threat. Twilight, moving family around is something you do with provincial leaders. If it was just you that she's worried about, then why wouldn't she just worry about you? Spike, it's been real quiet in Ponyville, and I don't want to think about this, or else I'm gonna stay up for the rest of the week. So go and help me find a book on this stupid bird in my house. Don't we have more important stuff to do than focus on your pet owl? No. Not today. Okay, fine. What kind of owl is it? I don't know. Get the book so we can look it up. Okay, I'm going. So, aside from figuring out how we're gonna feed this thing, what do you hope to learn? Maybe I can teach it tricks, like to fetch books or something. Oh, gunning for my job, huh? You gotta get jealous?
There we
Oh,
go.
heaven forbid I don't get to do this more often. I don't think that bird could carry books anyway. Maybe children's books. You know it'd be good
That's actually
if that
a
owl
dream
had
come true for
levitation
Spike.
powers. If that owl could levitate books, then I wouldn't have to climb up here and put my life in danger. We do need a taller ladder, but it's gonna come out of your allowance. Why? Life's about earning, Spike. But I never earn anything no matter how hard I work. Also, I can't find your stupid book. Well, look harder. I'm piercing the shelves with my fiercest gaze. I'm not seeing it. Oh, come on, that's impossible. I just reorganized yesterday. Well, see, that's the problem. It's disorganized. You keep reorganizing it, I can never find anything. It's a really simple system. It should be next to the book on vowels. You have got to be kidding me. This system is never going to work. It works like a mnemonic device. Once you learn it, it's going to revolutionize the way that you find books. Okay, I found your book, but we're going to have to change the system again. What? No, Spike, learn the new system.
All right.
It's better. Nay, once you learn it, you're going to find it's so much easier to remember where stuff is. I have had it up to here with this, Twilight. I am not learning a new organizational pattern every single week. Fine. Stay in the past with Dewey Decimal, see if I care. Thank you. You micromanage too much, you know. Whatever. I don't know what to do with this bird. I mean, it can see in the dark. Maybe it could lead me around when it's dark. It's not a seeing eye dog, Twilight. And besides, I'm a dragon. We live in caves. I've got a certain amount of dark sight if you need it. How would you find an owl in the dark anyway? The whole point of their natural camouflage is not to be seen. I'm just grasping at straws here, okay? I don't know, maybe I can use his feathers for quills when he molts. Aye, he looks a bit small, but he's probably big enough for that. Quills only cost about 1 or 2 bits, though. Adds up over time. I guess it does. I mean, if he feeds himself, it's kind of like a net gain. Except for me, who has to clean up after his droppings. So, okay, he's useful somehow. That means he's not a pet. We know what happens to pets. He's a utility bird. Alright, what you want to name the utility bird? How about Aloysius? I don't even know how to spell that. How about Al, for short? That way it's easier to pass it off like we didn't name him, as though we're pronouncing it wrong, like we're stupid. Aye, you ever see Rainbow Dash make an ass of herself directly to Celestia, and then get away with it? Boy, she must be onto something there. No kidding. You could punish the girl, but she wouldn't know what she did wrong. If I could start all over, I would just play dumb from start to finish. You could have done that, but then you wouldn't get to read much that way. No, watch, it'd be like this. I love reading books to set a good example for kids. I may not understand all the big words, but I try my best to read the smartest looking books. Oh, I see. Very clever.
Nice.
I guess it takes a bit of wit to figure out how to play stupid correctly. Yeah, and the best part is that it makes perfect
That is
sense
true.
that I sing the Rubber Ducky song in my head all the time. Perfect shield for magical thought reading. You've been giving this a lot of thought, haven't you? Yeah, I have. But it's too late to do it.
Yeah.
now. Everybody would see right through it. I'd have to wait for some kind of opening, but I don't know what. You'd blend right in at Ponyville. Speaking of, you've seemed to have mellowed out a lot since you got here. Yeah, I guess I'm not as
Slam on
stressed out as I
Ponyville.
was. Well, it's nice having a bit more input now and again, but don't let your guard down. I know. But, hey Spike, nothing has changed, but for what it's worth, just leave it, Twilight. You make good pancakes. Loud and clear. So, are we going out today? Should I pack your bags?
Wow.
No, I'm staying in. I don't see what the crime is with being a happy shut-in. Alright, I'm going to take a nap then. Just give me a call if you need something. Will do. Good night, Spike. Good night.
Alrighty. watch or read those notes because it's kind of some interesting stuff, and I just can't read it quickly enough for this as this is going by. But all right. Overall, I'd say that did not disappoint. That was quite an interesting and lengthy exchange between Spike and Twilight. Just about every other part of the original episode got completely cut out. There's one giant scene in the library, and that was it. Yeah, I kind of would have liked to have seen Pinky in the Quill bit there, but yeah, I was wondering too if they're going to have the burnt book in here or not, but nope, skip right past that too. But still, though, I can't say that I'm that disappointed because what we got instead was rather interesting. Just again, I'm stepping back to my comments a few episodes ago where I said it looks like Twilight is actually starting to somewhat mature a little bit in her friendships, for lack of a better term. You know, I was noticing that with her and Fluttershy, and now here with Spike, I was floored at the end here, where she and Spike were basically, you know, on they're pleasant with each other, and just like, oh, I'm gonna go. Spike's, I'm gonna go take a nap, and I was like, okay, no problem, good night, you know, and have a good night. Oh, you make good pancakes, by the way. Where did that come from? So yeah, definitely can see some character growth on Twilight there. Well, and then for that matter, just the fact that Spike is giving all of this really thought-provoking input about, you know, like why Celestia has put Twilight here and the status of their family in terms of political influence and all those things. I mean, we saw some of that before in I can't remember the episode number, but the one where that with the Pinky Sets thing. There was a whole exchange there where you know, Spike was showing that he was not oblivious to all the political stuff going on, well, with Celestia and whatnot. So that was awesome to see that here. And yeah, he raised a number of interesting points about all of that. Oh, yeah, the forward call out thing is continuing. There was one of those in the last episode where she mentioned her brother being in the Royal Guard. We don't find that out until a Royal Camelot wedding at end of season 2 in canon, and that continued in this episode where they talked about the third princess, Cadence, and her and Twilight's brother dating and whatnot. So yeah, full season call out ahead there. That was funny too. The Princess Cadence. It's like, I don't know, how are you a princess of an, you know, an idea or just a concept or whatever of love? Like, how do you rule over that? You know, it's stuff like that. I can see where it's easy to make fun of it, but some of these bits from the show, I have never stopped to actually think about how ridiculous they are. It's I don't know. It's a little kid's show, okay? I'm sorry, but that's what it was designed to be. Yes, it's matured over time because of the Brony involvement, and there's a lot of stuff thrown in there for us now, but it's still largely aimed at little kids. And there are things that are going to be in kids' cartoons that just make no logical sense whatsoever in the real world. So it's easy to poke fun at this stuff. Yet, I just, you know, when I've watched this show, I've just enjoyed it for what it is, and I haven't really, you know, sat here and picked apart every little detail like that. And it just, that's one of the things, Princess of Love, it just never dawned on me to focus on that and realize how ridiculous of an idea that actually is. But yeah, whatever. Oh, there's some line too about what it just made of pink or something like that. I don't know. There's some odd comments in there, just poking fun at Cadence, I guess. But Yeah, the political stuff is like, okay, your brother is dating, a princess, and he's in the royal guard, but your family's still just, middle upper class. Like, why don't you have political influence, and why is Celestia moving you around? And what I'm like, yeah, what does Celestia have in mind? Yeah, unfortunately, we'll never know because the series is about to end. So, unless the negative series eventually gets there, but hmm. Interesting things. Yeah, we got the little bit in the that was that one of the Rainbow Dash Presents shorts with Twilight getting her wings. So clearly, Greg has already been thinking ahead to that. I wonder, for the main mentally advanced, I was wondering if what ideas he had in mind for how to deal with that once into season 3 rolls around. But anyway, I got to move off that because again, we'll probably never know, at least not for a long time. So yeah, I guess Aloysius did sort of become a pet, but not really. That's kind of an odd one because I guess it was left as not like it's utility burn because we all know what happens to pets. I'm not sure what she meant by that. I feel like that's a reference I'm missing. Unless she just means like pets typically die or something like that. So maybe it's that, but yeah, use it as utility burn. What a concept. Um, that was an interesting way to leave it. Well, at least she didn't immediately, try to get rid of Aloysius. So he's now written into the mentally advanced canon, so to speak. So that's interesting. But I I take exception to the fact that Twilight knows nothing about owls. I mean, she knew literally nothing, not what they ate or what kind of an owl it was, or not anything. I'm sorry, but when you read that many books, you just can't convince me that you didn't at some point come across books that were on those topics. I, unless you're just so completely one track minded that you're literally only reading like magic books and stuff and nothing else. But I have my doubts on that too. I don't think she's that single minded that she's only reading that one type of book. So that to me just seemed like a little bit of a stretch for for being a plot device, but whatever. Um, oh, and that has jogged my memory too. Back to Spike. The quip about, well, just I can't remember what the line was now, but something to the effect of having Aloysius take over some of the chores or whatever to grab some books, and it's like, oh, wouldn't I just enjoy that or whatever, and like, duh, why didn't I think about that? This Spike absolutely hates the chores that he's forced to do all the time, so he'd probably love for Aloysius to take some of that over for him. Oh, so that was another interesting twist in all this. But yeah, it's a big character episode for Spike and Twilight both in this. And then it ended on quite the cordial note with them, kind of establishing like a mutual respect, and it's like, yeah, we're okay with this arrangement now. So okay, great. Yeah, I think that's gonna about wrap it up for this episode. I'm not thinking of anything else in particular. So it didn't jump around scenes a lot. It was just mostly the one long scene. So that's fun. Definitely one of the better episodes in the series for me at least. I mean, I'm sure not everybody agrees, but it's just to go off on this tangent briefly. I'm not really that up to speed in terms of writing styles and episode concepts and things like that, but I do remember hearing something for watching the like behind the scenes notes on a TV show that I like, Stargate SG1, if you're wondering, And apparently there's this thing that a lot of writers, it's challenging for a lot of writers, is the idea of, put two people in a room and make it interesting. And that's like the whole episode. And the episode Stargate SG-1 that was happening was when Carter and O'Neill ended up jumping through a second Stargate on Earth, so they were in Antarctica, and they thought they were on some other ice planet or something, misdial. And anyways, the two of them, in the room together, just trying to survive, basically, and figure out how to get out of their situation, out of their predicament. So anyway, this felt like that, where it, like I said, all the other parts of the episode were basically just cut out. It's just put Twilight and Spike together in the room and let them hash it out and make it interesting. And it worked quite well in this episode. I'm really impressed with the exchange that happened. So A+ on the rating on that for Greg. So all right, I'll wrap this one up, and I might just have time to get to the last one tonight here. So yeah, I would say go ahead and look forward to that. We'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey guys, sorry for the little addendum here, but as I was going through and rewatching this episode while I was running it through my video editor, I realized there were some things that I really wanted to comment on that I completely forgot about. So I'll do that real quick here. Couple small things first. Luna's bird, or the comment about Aloysius being Celestia's bird and then Luna's bird, and Spike made a comment about, well, oh no, it's gonna explode. I don't even want to know where that came from, but Luna is crazy, so I can certainly see there being a concern there. So that was funny. Just wanted to touch on that briefly. Twilight's organizing schemes for the library. Apparently even in the regular show, she's constantly reorganizing the library, so that followed through here. But her system, it's owls is by vowels, it's a mnemonic thing. I'm like, oh my word. But that just reminded me. That's like the grocery store. It seems like every so often it seems like every few months the grocery stores love to, or some of them anyway that I know of, I swear they just take like the entire store and flop it around, or change where everything is at, and it's like you go in there and now you're spending a ton of time looking for all your stuff because all the aisles are changed around where the stuff used to be. It's now somewhere else, and I just remember that at least as a kid, it seemed like every so often you go in the grocery store and it's all rearranged. Like, oh, now I spend twice as long looking for all the food. So that was just kind of a personal thing for me. I found pretty funny. Now the last thing. This is what I really wanted to get to. The comment about that Spike made about having to, you have to be pretty smart to play so dumb, or something to that effect. That is so true. That made my mind immediately jump back to another old TV show I just referenced, as you saw earlier, one old TV show with a comment I made already. This one is Beverly Hillbillies, and the character of Jethro Bodine. That guy was a grown man. How old was he in the show? I think he was at least in his 30s in the show. But anyway, he always touted his 6th grade education like he was just so smart. Well, he was an imbecile, really. But it's just funny because he thought he was really smart because he'd gone all the way to graduate the 6th grade, which apparently nobody else in his family had ever made it that far. So he was supposedly technically the smartest one in the family, which even that wasn't true. But it's where like his emotional maturity level never really moved past the 6th grade either. So it made his character just hilarious. But the funny thing about it is that the guy who played it, I was just looking up here, it's Max Baer Jr. That was a very smart man to be playing the part of the fool in that show. I mean, this guy, he had a bachelor's degree in business administration, a minor in philosophy. He's an actor, screenwriter, producer, director. I mean, this guy's been around the block a few times. He knows how things works. And I just remember my mom telling me too about how he was such a a very smart guy, and it's like sometimes you really gotta, for the purpose of acting as somebody who's an idiot, you really got to know your stuff to know how to pull it off and make it convincing while still following the script and storyline and such. So that statement in this episode is so true. I think you probably find that in a lot of TV shows and movies and whatever, where you've got a character that just seems like he's a complete dimwit, and it's actually played by somebody who is absolutely not a dimwit. So that was just a really interesting thing that popped into my head when I heard that line. So just wanted to share that. Anyway, thanks again. Moving on to the next episode. Catch you later.